sacrifice of many men and women who had served Canada in all the different wars. Not just the two world wars, but all the different wars. It's 2 minutes that we would pause at 11 o'clock on November 11th. 11th hour of the 11th day of the 11th month is to commemorate the sacrifice that these people made. I'm sure you all will do that, especially now you're Canadian citizens. You will all do that. I'm going to ask you to consider this. We're going to remember those who fought, and we will look at the cenotaph, and we'll all assemble the cenotaph to observe 2 minutes of silence. I'm going to invite you to consider these 3 men that I'm going to tell you about. The first one, his name is Hassan Ahmad. Hassan came to Canada from Singapore in the 1800s, late 1800s. He served as a private in the Royal Canadian Regiment, and he was one of 22 men of Muslim faith to serve in the Canadian Army in the First World War. Hassan died at the Battle of Hill 70, and he's recognized on the Vimy Memorial. In fact, I think he's the only Muslim person whose name is engraved on the Vimy Memorial. He first enrolled in Canada in Halifax. He first joined the Army on January 14, 1916. And they let him go in June because he was considered undesirable. He didn't stop. 2 weeks later, he went from Halifax to New Brunswick, and he signed up in New Brunswick. And he joined, he was assigned to the 4th Overseas Pioneers Battalion, and as I said, he then went to fight in Europe in the First World War. The second man I'll tell you about is a man by the name of V. Tan Louis. V. Tan was in British Columbia, and he tried to enlist in the Canadian Army in the First World War in Kamloops, and they turned him down because he was Chinese. He undeterred, he bought a horse, and he rode his horse from Kamloops to Calgary across the Rockies in the winter. It took him 3 months to get to Calgary, where he signed up, and he finally enlisted in February 1918. He joined the 10th Canadian Infantry Battalion, was shipped to England by April, and he was a runner. He served as a runner and served in France, Holland, and Belgium. He was wounded and eventually suffered hearing loss from the shell. The third man I'll tell you about is Bakam Singh. Bakam was born in December 1893 in the farming town of Mahipur, Punjab, in India. He came to Canada as a 14-year-old in 1907. And even though at that point he was already married, but he could not bring his wife because at that time the immigration laws were that she could not come. He was a farmhand and he worked in Ontario, and in April 1914, so the start of the First World War, he enlisted in the Canadian Overseas Expeditionary Force and became one of only 9 Sikhs to fight for the Canadian Army in the First World War. He arrived in England in September 1915. He was wounded by shrapnel in June the 2nd, 1916. He was hospitalized for a month. He recovered, and he rejoined his battalion in combat, and was again wounded in St. Eloi on July 24th, where he was sent to a hospital and was treated by Dr. John McCrae. The same Dr. John McCrae who rode in Flanders Fields. He was sent to Manchester to recover, and he recovered. And he was considered fit to rejoin combat, active combat. He was waiting to be sent back to France when he developed severe tuberculosis, 1917. So he was sent back to Canada in May 1917 and discharged in August the 1st, 1918. He spent the rest of his days at a Freeport Military Hospital, which is in Kitchener, Ontario, where he died on August the 27th, 1919. Still alone. His wife still could not come to